So what is going on, guys? My name is WOLFWILL and welcome back to another video. Whether it is your first time here or you're a returning viewer, I hope you're having a great day or a great night so far. So once again, we are back with a Spyro 4 related video, and ever since the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness official trailer dropped, it's gotten me thinking in the past couple of days. And speaking of which, if you guys haven't yet seen my recreation of the Multiverse of Madness trailer featuring Spyro and Ratchet & Clank, the title card will be up on screen now, and the link is also down in the description if you want to go and check that out. But with that out of the way, let's dive right on into this topic. So we have talked about the multiverse in what I call the Spyroverse, in pretty much the majority of the videos we've had on the channel, and of course Crash is a big part of this too, because as we know, Spyro and Crash are basically in the same multiverse, because then you've got Ratchet and Clank with Jack and Dexter and Sly Cooper in a separate multiverse. But of course, anything's possible still. But then yet again, we've spoken about the whole situation with the developers behind the franchises, so that's why they're sort of separate for the meantime. But the point is, I think that Spyro 4 is going to be responsible for creating a multiverse of madness of its own. So, to elaborate on this a little bit, we're gonna go back to Crash for just a moment. So, as we know, when Crash 3 Warped originally released, the following list of games afterwards were some very interesting spin-offs, and then there was that one particular title where Crash had tattoos and Aku Aku was a much bigger mask for some reason. But then when we had Insane Trilogy released, we of course had the original 3 games, but then we had a brand new sequel that became the new canon, and this is It's About Time. And my reasoning for this is Crash 3 Warped is responsible for creating that alternate timeline, because Warped was technically about going into different timelines, because we went into like a space era, there was Egyptian times, medieval. So Warped was responsible for creating that new timeline, which is now the new canon. So now we get back to Spyro, and of course the third one is Year of the Dragon, and following from that we have Enter the Dragonfly, which featured side characters such as Hunter, Sparks, Bianca, Ripto made his return, and then we had many more games afterwards, like A Hero's Tale, where it brought in Flame, Ember, and Red, who is the new villain. Red, of course, is the villain I think should be in Spyro 4, and for good reason, but we'll get to that very shortly. So, what would happen here is that Spyro 4 will become the new canon, so therefore the new canon timeline. However, of course, Year of the Dragon wasn't anything to deal with time travel or the multiverse whatsoever. So that has a little bit of tweaking there. However, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled kind of fits in the gap, because as we know, there was the Spyro DLC and it had Spyro, Hunter, and Nasty Nork. And Hunter in the announcement video for it mentioned Bianca and stuff, so that was set after Year of the Dragon, so that was basically the new canon. When you think about it in some sense, I mean, it wasn't like an official story, but yeah. So now, in regards to Spyro 4, as I have talked about, I think Red would be a good villain to have, because he could be part of the reason that the multiverse is going to get into some form of chaos. Now, of course, Crash 4's ending, as we know, we had that secret cutscene of Cortex on the beach and he looks up to see Uka was there, which is telling us that there is going to be a sequel to that one. Because we all thought that Uka had, like, been killed or something, but he's right there. So, regards to Spyro 4, Red, he is meant to be a powerful sorcerer, and he's also a dragon, so two things right there that could make him a very dangerous villain. And then I have talked about how Cinder could potentially be in this, whether she is from a foreign dragon world, so a classic Cinder that isn't anything to deal with Legend of Spyro, or she could be the Spyro of another reality, which is the same thing as Ratchet and Rivet with Rift Apart. Either way, if Cinder is brought into this, then of course she'll be able to help Spyro to fight Red, in which whatever happens in the story, they are going to begin exploring the concept of the multiverse, because of course we've already seen that with Crash, and we've seen that with Ratchet and Clank. So Spyro is definitely next in line, and of course they're all dragons, and magic is a key factor in the Spyro games. So that really makes a lot of sense there. So overall, whatever happens in Spyro 4, it will lead towards not really much of a, well, in a sense, kind of a happy ending for all the heroes, but there is that catch that the multiverse is going to be fully unleashed. And this is going to lead into potentially bringing in other Spyros. Now, to support this, we know from Crash 4, there's this one particular bit where I guess it was a little bit of fan service, but I thought it was really cool. We got to see that one bit of retro Crash coming up on the screen if you were to get all the Wumpa fruit on the rail when you were sort of going through multiple dimensions during the Entropies boss fight, like before you begin. I think it's before you begin the level officially, but what could happen is that the Multiverse of Madness concept is where Spyro from the Reignited Universe will cross over with Legend of Spyro and potentially Skylanders Spyro. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is, first of all, yes, I have spoken in the past that I don't consider him canon, or I just don't like that franchise in general, but with the whole multiverse concept over the past few years or so, it's really got me thinking, and in some sense, having Skylanders Spyro probably wouldn't be bad, because if you think of the TV series, that one sort of has more personality compared to the games, obviously, so I guess there is some way that could work, and I'm actually going to elaborate this on a future video, because Spider-Man No Way Home is a bit of inspiration for what I'm going to talk about there, and you guys might already get a bit of an idea for it. But also, there was a YouTube channel that I just came across recently who has been talking similar things about Spyro 4 and the multiverse. In fact, he did a video on what if Malifaux is the main villain, which I thought he had some really interesting points there. And honestly, Malifaux could be involved in a future Spyro title, once again. And then, of course, his recent video, as of this recording, is Unleashing the Multiverse, talking about the 3 Spyros. So if you're wondering who I'm talking about, he is someone known as the Kingdom Wayfinder. His channel link will be in the description below if you want to go and check it out. And he's got his 2 videos, Spyro 4 Unleashing the Multiverse and Spyro 4 What If Malifaux is the Main Villain. So what do you guys think? Do you think whatever happens in Spyro 4, and especially with the fight against Red, will lead towards creating a multiverse of madness in which potentially even Crash will have to get involved because he's had to go through a similar situation prior. I think it'd be really cool to see, and if we were to have multiple Spyros, that would be really cool too. And Dark Spyro can also be considered because when you think about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, you have our MCU Strange, and then you've got Sinister Strange being, I'm assuming, is from the What If universe when he was the bad guy. But yeah, so there are a lot of theories that I could go on about with this, but I will be covering a separate video on the 3 Spyros as I mentioned. So yeah, what do you guys think? If you do have anything you want to say about like your own theories, let me know down below in the comments, because I'm always keen to hear what you guys are going to say about these sort of topics. And if you have anything else you want me to cover in regards to Spyro 4, or even what's happening with Crash, then let me know and I'll be sure to give it a look at and see what I can talk about it. So as always, thank you guys so much, and of course, if you are new to the channel and you do like what you see, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications to get notified of all of my uploads. And with that, I hope you guys have a great day or a great night.